from the audience during the quiz, we must
throw you out bodily.
Well, we at least have to throw that question out and give another to the contestants, and this often works to their disadvantage, so...
There's no holding him since Stanford won.
Also, if you would stay for about...
Not much fun holding him, anyway.
If you would stay for about 15 seconds after the show, we will then take...
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word tonight is car. C-A-R. And now, here he is, the one, the only...
Well, here I am again with $1,500 for one of our couples. If any of them say the secret word, they'll win $100. The word tonight is car. C-A-R. That's right, Duck. He's just verifying what I said. Okay, on the left. Or on the Drake.
Groucho, we asked for volunteers tonight. People...
For the Army?
No. People with interesting stories. We asked that type of person to volunteer. And just before we went on the air, Roxy Jamgogian and Walter Atkinson were chosen to be on the show. And here they are. So, folks, would you go in, please, and meet Groucho Marx.
Welcome for the DeSoto Plymouth dealer. Say the secret word and you'll divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Roxy Amgochian. Who's that?
That's me, Groucho.
That's you?
Yeah.
How far did I miss the pronunciation?
Well, not any farther than the average person.
Oh. Well, I could have made a more serious mistake in pronouncing that. I could have pronounced you two man and wife. What kind of a name is Yamochian?
Shamgochian.
Shamgochian?
Yes. Oh. It's an Armenian
J
name.
means CH in Armenian.
It means
is that
VH.
VH?
VH.
Oh, ZH.
That's right. Jean.
What
It's an Armenian name.
Armenian, huh? Well, what should I call you? Araxi?
My friends call me Roxy, which is much easier to say.
Oh, don't mention Roxy.
No?
I played the Roxy in New York. We did 5 performances today, and each performance lasted an hour. And on Saturday and Sunday, we did 6. So if you must have a nickname, I'll call you the Palace or the Majestic Theater in Chicago. How about the State Lake? Would you like that as a name? That's in Chicago. Or the Temple Theater in Detroit.
I saw you in the Coconuts, Groucho, years ago.
Yes. Well, I've been in Coconuts for years.
Very jolly evening it was.
Yes, I was a hard-shell Baptist during those days. First cut. Now, where in Armenia were you born, Roxy?
I was born in a city called Agan. Armenia is in Turkey, and...
Armenia is in Turkey?
Yes, it's a little...
I thought Turkey was in Armenia.
No, there's a...
Well, they have Turkey in Armenia, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Just on Thanksgiving?
I wouldn't be able to answer all those questions.
Well, could you answer any
I
of them?
left early in my youth.
Oh, you left in your youth? How old was he?
May I tell you about Armenia? The city of Agan is, I'm told, a very beautiful mountainous city with the Euphrates River flowing in the valley.
What river?
The Euphrates River.
Oh.
And
is that anything like frikadellen?
I really don't know.
Do you know what frikadellen are?
No.
That's hamburger with vegetables in it.
So I know hamburger very well. But
yeah, well, that's in Germany.
Yes.
This is certainly confusing so far, isn't it? I can't even pronounce your name.
Shamgochian.
Oh, yeah, Shamgochian. And how old were you when you left?
I was just a baby, a year and a half old.
Oh. You left under your own power, or?
No. My mother and my grandmother and I left and went to England. And then after a year and a half, we went to New York to live with my mother's family in Albany. And at the age of 9, I came to Los Angeles, so I feel almost as though I were a native daughter.
I see. And where are you from, Walt?
I'm from Madison, Georgia. That's close to Athens.
I thought Athens was in Greece. I know I've seen Turkey in Greece. And I've also seen Greece and Turkey. Is that still your home, Georgia?
No, I was when I left. When I was 10 years old, we went south.
You went south? You went south from Georgia?
Yes, we went to Florida.
Oh. I thought the only thing south of Georgia was Africa, South Pole.
No, we went south. The boll weevil and the zuzu bugs got too rough, and we went south. I mean, they drove us plumb out of Georgia.
What do you mean by plum out? You had no plums?
No, we loaded up in a truck and headed south for Florida. And then when we got it...
You went by boll weevil to Florida?
No, the boll weevil drove us out. The boll weevil and the zuzu bugs.
Oh. I thought zuzu was a ginger snapper.
The zuzu bug is quite a bug.
It is? Well, evidently. What is a... Could you describe a zuzu bug for us?
Do you know anything about cotton?
Well, someone had to pick all the cotton. I know Joe Cotton. I've seen
The
movies.
zuzu bugs, they suck the blossom, sting the bowl, pull up the stalk, and cover up the hole.
Well, I don't blame you from screaming out of there. Where'd you wind up?
We landed in Umatilla. That's between Asketul and Okeechobee.
Well, where else could it be? What was the name of this river?
The Ocklawaha.
Oh. How do you spell that? Do you know how to spell it?
Okay, Lahawha.
All right.
Ocklawaha, that's in
Ocklawaha.
Indian.
Is that anything like Jamgochian? Jamgochian, yeah. Well, why did your family decide to settle in Umatilla?
Well,
did they know anybody
Umatilla,
there?
As we were passing through Umatilla on this truck, a rear tire blew out. And we kind of settled there then.
Well, you'd have settled any place where the tire blew out, is that it?
Well, in this case, we settled in Umatilla.
Uh-huh. Did you ever get the tire fixed?
We eventually got it fixed. By that time, though, we had a place to live and job.
And you just left this lonely tire on the road all by itself?
Well, we left the truck sitting there. We've got a tire to get the truck off the road, yes.
Uh-huh. I don't think I'm familiar with Umatilla. I haven't been there recently. Where is it located?
Umatilla, I told you. It's between Asketul and Okeechobee.
Well, he hasn't changed the story any. What kind of a joint is Umatilla? Is it anything like New York City?
No smoke, no smog. Lots of rain and very little fall. Apex of the Golden Triangle, the home of the Okefenokee Queen watermelon and the big mouth bass. The heart of nature's wonderland. Umatilla, you'll like it. Three filling stations and all car garage, a post office, and a barber shop.
Wait a minute. You said car. Okay, up you go, Doc. You said the secret word car, so you get $50, and Mrs. McGotchin gets $50.
What did I say?
You said boll weevil, and that's the secret word. You just happen to be lucky that boll weevil was the secret word. It wouldn't happen again in 100 years. It was either boll weevil or Umatilla. I don't remember. What kind of a place is it? Is it anything like New York?
Anything like New York? What? That we have around Umatilla, we have blue skies and white clouds.
That's all?
And a drugstore, an OK grocery store, Umatilla Supply Company, Jarvis's Barber Shop, and the post office. What else you want?
Well, I've had enough. You don't have to go any further. Walter, I hate to change the subject, but are you married?
Yes, Groucho, I'm married. I'm married to a beautiful, loving, charming queen.
Queen? She's almost as attractive as Umatilla, huh? She sounds like a real Southern belle, is she?
On the contrary, Groucho, she's a Republican from Chicago.
Well, how did you meet this charmer?
I had been fishing with a boy, Joe Mabry. We had been in Lake Nickertown for the bass, and we were coming back a sort of a dirt road. And
Was this in this car that where the tire blew out?
this was a little later. Oh, we were in truck before.
It's getting very confidential, huh?
So we were coming this dirt road, and off to one side, I noticed a lot of excitement and commotion down there. Some women down in this pasture. So we stopped and went down to see what it's all about. And these women had seen a snake there in the blackberry patch. So I killed. Where you find blackberries, you'll find
women, huh?
The birds go there to get the blackberries, and the snakes go to get the birds. So these women are there picking the blackberries, and I killed a snake, and that's where I met my wife, and we eventually married.
Well, was this snake anybody you knew, or was...
Sometimes I think I did marry the wrong snake, but...
Well, don't let's get rattled right now. Now, Roxy, are you married?
No, I'm not, Groucho.
You're not married? An attractive-looking woman like you, and you've never been married?
No.
Why aren't you married? Remember, it's none of my business.
I'll remember that.
In other words, you want me to go jump in Lake Okeechobee, is that it?
Well, I might say what a friend of mine often says when she's asked that question. She says, well, I don't know how I had such good sense.
Mm-hmm. Well, I'm sure you've had plenty of opportunities, haven't you, Roxy?
What was it I was going to remember?
I see. Well, do you have a job?
Yes, I do. I teach at the Fairfax High School.
Oh, really?
In fact, I've been there since the school opened.
What do you teach?
Well, until just recently, I taught drama and public speaking, had the play production work. But just now, I'm in the English department.
Oh, you teach English?
That's right.
Oh, that's right. What do you think of my English?
Well, Groucho, I would say that you've done very well with your English, as it is.
That's one of the most dubious compliments I've ever received.
And as a matter of fact, I make it a practice not to criticize other people's English.
Well, you're free to go ahead and criticize me.
And I tell my students that, too. I say, improve your own speech, but don't criticize other people. However, you might be interested to know that the modern philosophy, as far as English is concerned, is quite realistic. It has established 5 levels, so that 3 of those levels are considered correct English, and only one of them is the literary level, and that's the level that we aim for in school. But and many others who speak colloquially are on the informal standard level, and it's accepted as correct English.
Well, I'm sorry you're slumming here tonight, Mrs.
No, I'm not. I tried to make that clear that I was.
You have me virtually in the subway as
No,
far as...
correct English. We're not.
It's all right. I subscribe to the colloquialisms, too. Now, Walter, let's get back to you for a moment. Here's a fellow that really slings it around. Tell me, what sort of work do you do, Walter?
I'm an insecticide and fertilizer salesman. And
a what? A footlizer?
Fertilizer. Insecticide and fertilizer. It makes things grow.
Well, you're old Dr. Bandini, in other words, huh?
Bandini, yes, somewhat.
Yeah.
And in addition to that, I raise watermelons in the spring.
You raise watermelons in the spring?
Spring.
Well, you can only raise them in the spring, can't you?
Well, I raise the Okefenokee Queen watermelon.
Uh-huh.
This is a cross. Now, the Tom Watson watermelon is a tough watermelon. Some days so hard you can hardly drive a nail in them.
And well, you wouldn't get much enjoyment out of that anyway.
And the Stone Mountain...
And less satisfaction. Imagine a fellow going around driving nails in watermelon.
And the Stone Mountain watermelon is
he doesn't
really,
pay any attention to me at all.
They break too easy.
He rolls on like the Mississippi River.
We we crossed them, and
You crossed what?
we crossed the watermelons and got a hybrid.
Never cross a watermelon until you come to it, is what I always say.
So when we crossed the watermelon, the offspring or the hybrid was a melon that was sweet and could stand shipping.
Uh-huh.
And so we have we call it the Okefenokee Queen. Now, there's one thing about watermelons, though, you may not know.
No, there are many things about watermelons.
The temperature in Chicago and
Isn't that
Pittsburgh-
conducive to raising watermelons?
No,
How was that, Mrs. Yamgochi? Was that pretty well said?
That was literary
Did you like
level.
that?
Oh,
I was on a real
beautiful.
high level there
Yes,
for a second.
yes.
Well, I'll sink right down in a minute. Go ahead, Mr. Yamaguchi.
The temperature, if it's a hot day in Chicago or Pittsburgh, the price of watermelons in Umatilla will go up.
Uh-huh. Well, that's very interesting, huh? It's boring, but interesting, huh? You sound like one of Florida's leading citizens, Walter. Have they ever erected a statue in your honor in Umatilla?
Well, and then on George Washington's birthday in 1952, I won a gold trophy for being the biggest liar in the state of Florida.
Well, that's quite a state to win the championship in. There's plenty of competition there. What kind of a tale did you tell to get the title?
There was a congressman in Georgia by the name of Earl Powers.
Is this the lie? Is this the lie you're telling me?
Yes, it is.
Oh.
Stop.
Once he starts, you can't stop him.
He tried to get through a bill through the state legislature to appropriate $50,000 to raise a breed of racing bulls. So they said, well, what about this bull, or how are you going to go about it? He said, well, I have a bull. I live up near Rome, Georgia, and my pasture runs for 3 miles right alongside the railroad. And this bull of mine meets a Dixie Flyer coming out of Atlanta, going to Chicago. And when it reaches my pasture, it's going full speed. So this bull keeps up with this Dixie Flyer for 3 miles. So later, the Congressional Committee decided to go up and investigate it. Mm-hmm. So when he heard that they were coming, he told his...
Shows you what they have to do in Florida. Time hangs heavy on their hands. They're watching a bull chase a train on the swamp.
So when they heard he was coming, he got out. So he told his neighbor that...
Who got out? The bull got out?
No, the man who told his tale.
Oh.
So he got out, and so when the committee came, they said, well, Earl Powers has gone to Washington, New York, Chicago, and he's coming back by New Orleans, So I said, well, when did he leave? So he left this morning. So when you expect him back? Said, well, he'll be back tonight. Said, well, has he bought himself an aeroplane? And the fellow said, no, sir. He's riding that old bull of his.
That won the championship in Florida?
That got the cup, and I might add this, I got the cup, the word got around the Umatilla and asked the Tula that my wife had to call the hogs because they wouldn't believe me.
Well, you've certainly confused me, Walter. Now, as a Floridian who's temporarily in California, how do you think the two states compare?
Well, actually, there's no comparison. Florida has it on them all the way around.
It has. So why do you say that?
And especially the oranges. Why, a Florida hog wouldn't eat some of the oranges that they have around here.
Well, you almost convinced me, Walter. Except for one thing, you said you were the biggest liar in Florida. I didn't really mean that, Walter. You're really a fine, level-headed, respectable, modest, and charming fellow. Don't you want to thank me?
Thank you. That's sufficient.
You're welcome, Walter. And I just want you to know that I'm the biggest liar in the state of California. Well, it's certainly been a confusing experience talking to you two. But now it's time to play You Bet Your Life. You know how to play our new quiz? I have a list of 10 questions. You pick the category yourself. Is that right?
Yes.
Now, of the 10, the easiest pays $10. The next easiest is worth $20, and so on up to $100 for number 10. You pick any 4 of these questions you want. The more they're worth, the tougher they get. Is that clear? All right, now here are the 10 questions. Let's see how much money you can make. You select a dictionary quiz. And being from Fairfax High, you ought to be very good at this, Mrs. Yamagochian. Now, which question do you want to choose first? You can start with 10 or 100 or 50.
Let's start with 4.
You don't want to discuss this with her at all?
That's all right.
Question number 4, that's $40?
Number 4, yes.
All right, a man who grinds grains and makes flour is called what? Talk it over.
A miller.
A miller on the D, that's right. Now have
$40.
Now, what do you want to do?
If we guarantee the audience, we must throw that question out. Even if they have already arrived at the correct answer, they will lose their chance if you try to help them from the audience. They are in competition with the other two couples. So please do not shout out the answer.
Now, what have you decided on?
5.
Number 50, huh? If you were indolent, what would you be?
You'd be lazy.
That's right.
You now have $90.
Now, how did you know that was lazy, Walter?
I got good ears.
You also got a good partner. Which one?
Well, we did 8. Shall we try 8?
80? $80. If an aviary is a place to keep birds, what is an apiary? A-P-I-A-R-Y. Apiary? Apiary. Apiary.
Bees.
That's right. The place to keep bees.
You now have $170.
Now, which question do you want to try for? The 90, 100, 60, 30?
60.
60. What is the Latin phrase that means solid earth?
Terra firma.
Yes, he knew that.
And you wind up with $230.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Now I want everybody to pay close attention to something special from the DeSoto dealers. Certainly is a great car, the new DeSoto. All right, George, who's next?
Well, we invited some bridge teachers to the program, Groucho, and just before we went on the air, our studio audience selected Rose O'Brien Olson to be a contestant. And her partner is in the music business, Mr. Lucky Wilbur. So, folks, would you please come in and meet Groucho Marx?
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Mrs. Rose O'Brien Olson, you're a bridge teacher, is that?
Yes, I am, Archie.
And where are you from, Rose?
Tacoma, Washington.
Uh-huh. Are you married?
Yes, sir.
Burned your bridges behind you, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any children?
3 daughters, 7 grandchildren.
No son-in-laws?
3 sons-in-laws.
How long have you been married?
Going on 5 years. 4.5, going on 5.
Going on 5 years and you got 3 grandchildren?
7.
7.
3 children, 3 sons-in-laws, and 7 grandchildren.
Well, I was so confused with the first couple, I'm not going to investigate this. Let's see, your name is Lucky Wilbur?
Yes.
Oh. How old are you, Lucky?
I'm 63.
Are you, you really call you Lucky?
Oh, yes. It's not my right name.
No.
My right name is Norman.
I see. They call you Lucky, huh? Are you firm and fully packed and
No.
easy on the draw and everything?
I guess.
Are you married?
Oh, yes. I've been married 36 years.
Oh, well, that's pretty good. Don't get discouraged, you know. Well, where'd you get the name Lucky? Were you born lucky? You don't look round, firm, and fully packed.
No. I actually got it in the pool room in Omaha when I was a young kid playing pool. Played rotation pool, which is if you hit the one ball, the 15th goes in, well, that counts. And that's the way I'd make them.
You were a pool shark, huh?
Yeah, guess
Are you
so.
still pretty good?
I graduated to 3-cushion billiards.
Snob, eh?
Yeah.
Where are you from originally?
I'm originally from Chicago, proper.
Proper.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was anybody proper in Chicago. Well, I suppose if you're going to be born at all, that's the best way, huh? Proper way, huh?
Yeah.
What do you mean by Chicago proper?
Well, I was born right in the heart of the town.
Under the loop?
Frankly.
Whereabouts?
Oh, right in the middle of it.
Middle of the street?
No, no, in the house. I remember that.
What sort of work do you do, Mr. Wilbur?
I'm what they call a song plugger.
A song plugger?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, really? Of course, I know what a song plugger is, but I'm sure some of our listeners out there have never heard of song plugging. Could you tell them what a song plugger is?
Well,
I mean, without us being arrested up here?
I work for a publisher, and when we get a brand new song, well, it's my job to go out and see how many plugs I can get on it. A plug means disc jockey, orchestra leader, anyone in the entertainment field. By the number of plugs, why, if the song has got a chance at all, we hope it'll become a hit.
Would you get paid by the plug?
Oh, no.
I know
No.
a jockey does. I thought perhaps you did, too.
No, not yet.
A disc jockey, I mean.
Oh,
He gets paid by the plug. There's a joke in there, but it isn't worth investigating. Now, suppose a singer won't plug your song. What do? Do you plug the singer?
Well, We have to try to get them to do it, of course, but lots of times...
What means do you use? Do you throw the game in a pool game? Let them win?
That's been done.
Well, how do you go about persuading these people to sing this song?
Well, we persist as much as possible, but if we see there's no chance, we just have to wait until the next song comes again. Everybody can't sing the particular song we're plugging. Maybe it's a rhythm tune, and I'm talking to a ballad singer. But we still try.
What makes a song a hit?
Oh, John Public, definitely.
John Public?
Oh,
His
yes.
name has to be John in order for the song to be a hit?
No, but we get the song, we get the top recording artists to do it, and then we all work like mad on it. And if the song isn't accepted by the public, we've got a dog on our hands.
Well, that was a big hit. How much is that dog in the window?
Yes, we didn't have it, I'm sorry to say.
How long have you been doing this kind of work?
I've been at
if
it...
you can call it work.
Well, actually 44 years.
44 years? What are some of the songs you've made famous?
Well, I started on Let Me Call You Sweetheart.
So did I, and got nowhere.
Meet Me Tonight in Dreamland.
I used to sing that.
3 o'clock in the morning
I
in
sang
a
that
little
around
Spanish
midnight,
town.
huh?
3 o'clock in the morning in a little Spanish town.
3 o'clock in the morning, a little Spanish town? I never heard that. Is that all one song?
No, 2 songs.
Oh. 2 songs? That's in Arizona, isn't it?
No. Wow. And then from there I went...
You have to admire me. I certainly keep plugging away out there. I'm not funny, but I'm certainly persistent.
I worked on Night and Day, Begin to Begin. Good Night, Irene, if I don't get killed for saying that.
Why should you get killed for saying Good Night, Irene? Huh?
You don't know what that did to the public.
A hollow laugh, if I ever heard one. Huh?
It
was a very big hit, wasn't it? It was a good song.
Tickled to death.
Yeah. Well, Rose, let's talk about bridge. You say you're a bridge teacher?
Yes, I am.
And where is your school?
At 611, the Contract Bridge Studio, 611 South Ardmore. Not Los Angeles. We've been there about over 20 years.
A lot of our listeners don't know anything about bridge either. In addition to song plugging, that goes for me, too. Could you tell us exactly how it's played?
It'll be a little difficult all in a few minutes, but I can tell you this, that it's, you start the hands, you deal 4 hands.
You mean only 2 people play 4 hands?
Oh, no, unless you're playing honeymoon bridge. You can do that, too. That's played with
Do you require cards for that game, too?
Yes, you do, Groucho.
I haven't been out of the house much lately. I don't know what's going on. Okay, now the cards are dealt. What is the next step?
The next step is the auction. You start the bidding.
Well, if it doesn't hurry up and get interesting, I'll bid you good night around that time. How do I know how good my hand is?
It's determined by high honor cards and the distribution of suits.
Well, the distribution of suits is easy in my case. I'm wearing the pants and the coat is at the cleaners. Now, go on. What's the next step? How do I know what to bid? Do I get on the phone and call Culbertson?
Oh, that wouldn't be necessary as long as I'm here. I could take care of it. Come down to our studio and we'd give you lessons, Groucho.
Well, I might take you up on that.
Love to
because
have you.
The evenings are pretty long these days. I have my own system in playing bridge. I played a couple of times. You kick your opponent in the shins, and then when they bend over, you just look at their cards. Now, how about cheating? Is there much cheating goes on among these card players in the bridge clubs?
Heavens, no, Harpo. Groucho.
It's all right. You call me Harpo, and I'll talk about stud poker.
No,
You say that they're not crooks?
Oh, never. We have very ethical people.
Well, how do I know they're ethical? I'm afraid of getting card games with strangers. What proof have you that they're okay?
Well, I've played with your family, both Chico and Harpo.
Well, how often were you rated? Lucky, let's get back to you. By the way, did you know I did an album for Decca Records last year?
Yeah, I heard it. Yeah.
I haven't heard a laugh like that since Frankenstein was done by Boris Karloff.
Shouldn't have said it that way, maybe.
Would you? This man is really in hysterics. How about plugging my record, Lucky? This is your racket, eh?
No, I don't work for Decca. I work for Howie Richmond.
You wouldn't plug my record, huh?
Couldn't.
You realize you're going to have some difficulty in the quiz. Okay, I'll plug my record myself, you know. It's a long playing record. Have you heard it?
No.
It's got 6 songs. Captain Spaulding, Dr. Hackenbush, Show Me a Rose, Father's Day. They're wonderful songs that I've done in various pictures and on the stage. And if you're smart, you'll rush out and buy that record tomorrow. Otherwise, I'll have to go on working every week, and your children will all grow up to be illiterates. That's what the lady said. Well, Lucky, I'd like to see how you operate. Pretend I'm a big singer, which of course I am, and you come to me to plug one of your latest turkeys. Now, go ahead. Give me your spiel, huh? Don't tell me you have a song in your pocket, huh?
Any good song plugger would have a copy in his pocket. Now, here's our latest one. Sweet Mama, Treetop Tall, grand record, new organization, the Lancers on trend, and it's really going to be a hit.
Sweet Mama, Treetop Tall?
Yeah, that's it.
Treetop Tall? What is the... Do you mind if I read it aloud to the...
No.
Oh, sweet Mama, Treetop Tall. What does that mean, Treetop Tall? Does that mean she's a timber topper, this guy?
Big gal.
Is that what it means?
I imagine.
Preferable?
Oh, no.
You mean you hawk this song around and you don't even know what Treetop Tall means?
Oh, I don't think it makes any difference. I hope not.
Oh, sweet Mama, Treetop Tall, won't you kindly turn your damper down?
No.
I love it. Who wrote this lyric? Keats, Shelley, or Shakespeare?
No.
Here's the next line. I can smell those hoe cakes a burning, honey. They done burned plumb brown. Since ham went up to $1 a pound, I eat so many rabbits I just hop all around. Oh, sweet Mama, Treetop Tall, won't you kindly turn your damper down? Have you any idea what the damper is? Huh?
I think this is a southern idiom of some sort, I hope.
You think I'm a southern idiot?
No. It's a southern idiom.
Oh. Well, could you sing this for us?
Oh, I can start it, sure.
No, you couldn't sing it?
Oh, maybe.
If I played the ukulele?
Oh, yeah, then can you play it?
Huh?
Can you play it?
I want you to get a raise in the morning.
Oh.
Suppose I sang it for you. Would you rather I sang it?
No, I think you've done enough for it now.
Well, that's fairly ambiguous, but I think I know what you're driving at. No, let me sing it, then. Because, maybe you'll plug my deck a record if I plug your song.
All right, let's do that.
Well, okay. Will you hold it if
surely. You got
a ukulele? Oh. I always keep the ukulele here now because recently we've had a lot of singers on the show. Oh, now wait a minute.
Oh, gotta do this. Oh, sweet Mama, treetop tall, won't you kindly turn your damper down? I can smell those cakes burn, honey. They done burn plum brown. Since ham went up to $1 a pound, I eat so many rabbits I just hop all around. Oh, sweet Mama, kindly turn your damper down. Turn your damper down.
This song will lose a fortune. Well, Lucky, there you are. I predict that song will be the biggest thing in the business. I really think it will. Not only that, Lucky, I predict first thing in the morning, you better change your name back to Norman.
That's better than I guess.
Well, I'd like to continue this conversation. But the time has come to play your bets, your life. The walrus said to speak of many things. Of ships and shoes and sealing wax and cabbages and kings. You know what that's from?
Oh.
That's an old lyric. That's from Meet Me Tonight in Dreamland.
Oh.
Now, we have questions here ranging from $10 to $100, and you must pick 4 of them. The higher the amount, the tougher the question. Is that clear?
Yes, sir.
You play bridge. I'm sure you're good with mathematics. All right, let's see how much money you can make. You selected sports. Now, you want to try a $10 question, a $50 or a $100, or just talk it over between you and come to some specific conclusion.
Let's start at 50.
I wish the teacher was here when I said that.
50.
He'd have been impressed with that specific conclusion. I don't think I could say it again. How much you betting?
$50.
$50.
$50, all right. A period in the game of polo will last 7.5 minutes. What is this period called?
Chucker.
That's right, chucker.
You're on your way with $50.
Now, you will be much safer if you decide on an answer before calling out. You might say one thing, he might say something else, and you'd lose. Which one do you want? Talk up, kids. Lucky, there's nobody up there that can help you, huh? There's somebody up there that can't help you, Lucky, huh?
Another 50.
You can't say
we got him
40 or 60?
All right, 60.
60, all right. What is the rubber disc used in ice hockey called?
Puck.
That's right, puck.
now have $110.
Don't look so somber, Fenneman. This isn't our money.
But it's my arithmetic.
Oh. Which one do you choose this time?
Go up 10. 70.
70, all right. And what sport is Eric Guerin famous? G-E-G-U-E-R-I-N.
Jockey.
Jockey is right. Horse racing.
You now find the $180.
Now, what do you want for your last question?
80. 80.
All right. Who is the winner of the decathlon in the last 2 Olympic Games? Talk it over.
Mathis. Bob Mathis.
Bob Mathias is absolutely right.
And you wind up with $260.
Thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth
Thank you
dealers.
very kindly.
Fenneman, who's next?
We have some newlyweds for you, Groucho. Bob and Shirley von Kuznick, would you come in, please, and meet Groucho Marx?
Welcome, youngsters, for the DeSoto Plymouth dealers. Say the secret word, and you'll take home an extra $100. It's a common word, something you see every day. Let's see, Shirley and Bob Van Kuznick, huh? You're newlyweds?
Yes, we are.
Well, it's always nice to see a young, attractive couple starting out together on life's highway. Just look out, most of the other drivers are crazy. And Bob, where's your hometown?
Oh, I'm from Cleveland, Ohio, on Lake Erie.
And Shirley, where are you from?
I was born in Madisonville in Cincinnati.
Oh, both from Indiana. That's a coincidence. You don't often find a couple like that. What sort of work do you do, Bob?
I'm a laugher.
You're a laugher? Well, we could use you tonight out front. Huh? There's been very few of them out there. Let's hear you laugh, huh? You get paid for laughing?
Yeah, I put on wire, paper, and that, and the plasterboard on the inside of the houses.
Oh, you're a plasterer, huh? How old are you, Bob?
I'm 26.
You're pretty young to be plastered, aren't you? Huh? What's your age, Shirley?
19.
Are you a plasterer, too?
No, I'm not.
How long have you two been married, Bob?
Oh, about 10 months.
Oh. Shirley, is he anywhere near the right amount?
Well, to be exact, it's about 8 months, 3 weeks, and 2 days.
Well, he was pretty close. I thought for a man who's lost his mind, he did rather well. Bob, when was the first time you met Shirley?
I was in a hot dog stand in Cincinnati in 1951.
In a hot dog stand?
Yes, mm-hmm.
You mean it was just puppy love at first sight, huh? What was Romeo doing there besides getting mustard all over his necktie?
Oh, he was on a 48-hour pass from the Army.
Oh, 48-hour pass?
That's right.
What all did you manage to do on that 48-hour pass?
Well, we went out to Coney Island, went dancing.
Cincinnati?
In Cincinnati.
Is there a Coney Island?
Oh, yes, uh-huh. And went swimming. Went on all the amusements. Took in a couple of movies. Went to a show and a party.
You must have been loaded with money, huh? It's always a mystery to me how a $50 a week month GI can spend $300 on a weekend. Shirley, was Bob's Army close enough for him to see you regularly after that first date?
He was at Fort Knox.
He was at Fort Knox?
Yes.
Oh. That's where that $300 a week came from. What were you doing at Fort Knox? Were you a gold brick?
I was an instructor there. I was teaching GIs why we fight in Korea, troop information education.
And what was there about Bob that attracted you the first time, Shirley? I can tell what attracted him, but what attracted you to Bob?
His beautiful hair, the curls.
Is that the only qualification that you thought was necessary for matrimony? How old were you at this time, Shirley?
16. I was quite young at the time, and my mother and father didn't
approve
of going out at that so young. So Bob had a few dates at the house, and then they finally approved of him.
But how did you win them? With your hair?
Oh, I finally convinced him.
You don't remember how, huh?
No.
Just turned on the charm?
Something like that.
How long after you met Romeo did you get engaged, Shirley?
About 6 months.
And what happened after he proposed, Shirley? Did he go and ask his general for a better job?
He went AWOL.
From who? You or the Army? You know, you could get into trouble going AWOL, Bob. How long were you over the hill?
Oh, about a year and a half.
A year and a half?
Year and a half.
Surprised the Army missed you. That is, I'm surprised the firing squad missed you. Where'd you go for such a long time?
Well, I was teaching in my lesson plan that the survival for Western democracy was at stake in Korea, and so I just went to Korea.
Well, Shirley, you weren't much flattered by this, were you? You got married and he went away for a year and a half?
Well, I didn't know anything about it till I read it in the papers. I thought he was over there on orders. I thought they sent him over there on orders.
I don't understand. I thought you were AWOL for a year.
Well, that's true. I was at Fort Knox teaching, and classes were always leaving my buddies, and somebody'd always say, "Why doesn't he practice what he preaches?" And after a lesson was over, and so I just decided to go and went out to the West Coast on an airliner. And
well, how'd you swing it? I didn't know you could just pick up and go to Korea.
Well, after I got out there, I went up to Seattle there, and I saw the ship there, and I knew it was going to Korea from the way GIs were talking around there, and so I went over to the naval barracks there where they were billeted, and early that morning there was an advance detail of cooks and bakers leaving, and so I put on a white mess jacket and an apron and went down to the dock that morning real early, and there was only about 15 of us, and luckily it was raining at the time because an officer there said, "Are these the men?" And he said, "Yeah," and he says, "Well, if it's raining, you better get the men out of the rain," and so we went aboard, and I went forward and got lost with the crew. I got to Japan.
You didn't do any cooking at all on the ship? There weren't any casualties at all from the cooking?
I managed to get a little bread to the troops.
Oh. And then you got to Japan, you say?
Yes, after
how'd you get from Japan to Korea?
Well, and when the boat docked there at Tokyo Bay, I saw an MP helmet there, a white helmet with MP on it, a nightstick, and I couldn't get off the regular way because the guys had orders, and so I walked down the gangplank that way, and nobody said nothing to me.
Did you have the cook's outfit on again?
No, I had an MP helmet on then.
Well, how'd you get past all the MPs in Korea?
Well, I managed to stay with the troops there after I landed at Sasebo, and I worked my way forward.
Well, how far did you get before they finally caught up with you?
Well, they never did catch me. I got right up to the front lines.
What was the first thing you did when you reached the combat zone? And
well,
all the hot lead was whizzing around you. Did you resign from the Army?
No, I lit a cigar.
Well, that's probably the only place in the world where you wouldn't know if somebody gave you an exploding cigar. You carried a cigar all the way from Cincinnati?
Oh, I had a few in my pocket.
Oh. Well, tell us about your experience as a AWOL soldier on the front lines. How did you get lined up with an outfit?
Well, the first outfit I came across was the British Princess Pats, and I stayed with them for a while and some assaults there, and then I worked my way over to their flank to a South Korean infantry unit, and I stayed with them for about 3 weeks.
What outfit were you wearing by this time?
This was a ROC outfit, Republic of Korea.
Now, weren't you frightened? After all, you had more or less short-circuited all the training the ordinary soldier gets before he goes into action. Were you scared?
Well, I was scared. Some lieutenant might tap me on the shoulder and say I was wanted at Fort Knox.
Well, what finally happened? Did the Army ever find out what became of their wandering boy?
Well, I finally told the platoon sergeant about it.
And what did he say?
Well, he told the lieutenant about it then.
Yeah? What did the lieutenant do?
Well, I went to captain, and the captain on up to the colonel to I Corps.
They were passing the buck private, in other words. What happened then?
Well, I went to Far East Command in Tokyo, and then from there to the Pentagon in Washington.
Well, you certainly can get lost there. What happened when they got to the Pentagon?
Well,
did they shoot you or anything? Hang you?
They finally court-martialed me and fined me $10.
Well, you can get that here if the exhaust in your car is smoking. Fined you $10, huh? You know, that's deductible on your tax paper. Now, after you gave yourself up, how did they ship you? Did they ship you home right away?
Well, after my court-martial there at Tokyo, I requested to be sent back to my adopted tank unit in Korea, and so my request was granted, and next morning I was shipped back to Korea. I served a full tour then with that unit.
Well, that's an incredible story, Bob. A man assigned to Fort Knox wants to get something easier? Imagine a guy hanging around Fort Knox and dying to get to Korea and get into action. Shirley, you've probably heard the story 1,000 times. Did he leave out anything important?
Well, he was wounded and decorated a couple times, and there was a platoon up on the hill which needed some ammunition. They needed a volunteer to drive through the front to bring them the ammunition, and so Bob volunteered to go up there, and he got through all the enemies and everything, although he was wounded.
Were you dressed as a cook this time? Well, put her there, huh?
Thanks,
I think this country's pretty safe with fellows like you hanging around. Now, Shirley, how soon after Bob got home did you get married? Did you wait until he closed the front door? Or did you get married immediately?
Well, it wasn't immediately. We got married that evening.
Oh, well. I'm glad you waited a reasonable length of time. You certainly took a chance waiting a whole day. You might have got a telegram from Patagonia saying, having a nice war down here. I'll be late for the wedding. Signed, Bob. Well, now let's see if you two can win a lot of money. I have to be impartial up here. You realize that. I'm not allowed to say what I'm really thinking, but if you don't win the equivalent of Fort Knox, there's going to be some heads rolling in the morning around here. Now, let's see how much money you can make. You selected American history. You know how to play this game? I have 10 questions. They're worth 10, 20, 30, all the way up to 100. You must pick 4 of the 10. As they increase in value, they get correspondingly tougher. Is that clear?
Clear.
Now, which one do you want to start with?
We'll start with the 5th question.
5th question, $50. The first and most prominent signature among the names on the Declaration of Independence has become a symbol for all signatures. Whose name is it?
John Hancock.
That's absolutely right, John Hancock.
We're off to a good start with $50.
You have $50 that nobody can take away from you except the Revenue Department. Now, what is the next one you want to try?
We'll try the 7th question.
$70. Who was the general in charge of the government forces annihilated in the Battle of the Little Big Horn?
General George Custer.
That is absolutely right.
You now have $120.
What is the one you're going to try now?
We'll take 8.
80? William H. Seward, as Secretary of State, was responsible for a land purchase that was known as Seward's Folly. What was Seward's Folly? He purchased some land for the United States. He was Secretary of State. If you don't know, guess.
Louisiana.
I'm sorry, it's Alaska.
But they still have $120.
You have $120 that nobody can take away from you. Now, which one do you want to try for on your final question?
We'll try the 10th question.
The $100 question?
Yeah.
Who was the first man to become president of all the 48 states?
George Washington.
The 48 states.
Oh, the 48
Now,
states.
think it over for a minute. Not the 13, but the 48.
Calvin Coolidge.
No, it's William Howard Taft. Or, if you want to be really technical, I would have accepted Eisenhower as the answer, since Ohio was formally admitted to the Union in 1953. So anyway, they
wind up with $120.
Well, thanks and good luck from the DeSoto Plymouth dealers, and I'm sorry you didn't win more.
And that means the bridge teacher and the song plugger with $260. In just 1 minute, get the chance at the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question, Groucho. Now here's the bridge teacher and the song plugger all set for the DeSoto Plymouth $1,500 question.
In 1889, an American newspaper woman went around the world in 72 days, 6 hours, and 11 minutes. For $1,500, what was the name of this famous New York journalist? Talk it over. Okay, what is the answer you two have decided upon?
Wasn't Frances Quimby, was it?
No, it was Nellie Bly, very famous name.
Oh, yes.
So that means the big question next week will be worth $2,000. Well, they lost the big money, but how much did they win the quiz, George?
They won $260 in the
Well,
quiz.
that's not so bad. Congratulations, and thanks to both of you and to all of our contestants on the show tonight.
Thank you very much, guys.
You bet your life.
Thank you. Be sure to tune in again next Wednesday night at the same time for the Groucho Marx Show, when the big question will be worth $2,000. And don't miss Groucho's television show, also presented by the DeSoto Plymouth Dealers of America. And remember that the dealers who sell the outstanding 1954 DeSoto Automatic with fully automatic power flight transmission. Also have on display the remarkable new Plymouth, engineered and built to be your best buy in the low-priced field. DeSoto, Plymouth, two great new cars, both products of the Chrysler Corporation.
And when you drive in, tell them Groucho sent you. Good night, folks, and remember, just be sure to see the DeSoto automatic.
Folks, here's a reminder from the National Safety Council. Good drivers drive safe cars. So wise up, check up, fix up. You Bet Your Life, transcribed from Hollywood, is produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. This is George Fenneman signing off for the more than 3,000 DeSoto Plymouth dealers from coast to coast. You Bet Your Life is heard by our armed forces throughout the world.